It's May 3rd, Friday, and today I wanted to do an update on how things are going with product management as well as learning more technical marketing skills. So with product management, it's going much better now. When I first started, there was a lot of back and forth on how specific or prescriptive I needed to get in describing certain features or certain new products to the engineering team. And I remember reading a lot about how product managers would often not overstep their bounds, but they would be trying to detail out every single solution, every aspect of every single solution. And I really wanted to avoid that. And I think that I went too far in the opposite direction, and I wasn't prescriptive enough in a lot of my specs. And so after a few back and forths on features that we need to add to the application process, going back and forth with Dan to understand how to explain what we're looking for, I think this is going along much better. What I've realized is that you really need to treat each spec as if the engineer has no idea what you're talking about, because we'll have these discussions. The engineering team will be on board, but by the time they revisit the feature, they'll kind of have forgotten what we talked about. So it's taking the time to clearly explain the overview of the problem, the overview of the pain that the customer is feeling, and what we feel like the solution should be, and then also including very detailed, or as detailed as possible, screenshots and drawings and schematics of what you're trying to achieve. And where you don't want to overstep your bounds is you don't necessarily want to say this is the only way, we're definitely going to do it this way. And also you don't want to specify the technology or how it will go about getting done, because that's where their expertise lies, right? They know what the technology can look like in order to achieve this goal, and really I have no idea. So that's what the authors of certain blog posts, that's what Dan meant when he said don't get too prescriptive. It's don't provide the technical solution, but in terms of what the product solution is, you need to be very specific about the vision on how you can achieve this end goal. The end goal usually being solve this customer pain point. So it's been a good education so far, and as I write out these specs, I get more and more comfortable with it. So I'm excited to see how my skill continues to progress, and how if I can get better and faster at it. What was really bumming me out at the beginning was how long it took to write out specs. So just taking the application flow. I felt like if it took me 2 hours, it was taking way too long. It's something that I should just be able to knock out. But what I've realized is sitting down and to think about the actual problem and really think through the flow and what's going on, and if I need to change what is happening, and if I want to change if I want to add certain elements to the flow, like add certain field values, or I want to do something different because their intent is a little bit lower, further up the funnel, then I really need to think through how it affects the rest of the application process, as well as what happens when they land on the Reforge dashboard, and how does it all connect. The second thing I want to talk about was how things have been going with improving my technical abilities. I'm working through the technical marketing course, and it's going slow. I keep running into roadblocks, and I can't figure out how GitHub is really working. I can't download Heroku properly. I scheduled a meeting with Michael Dieroff a couple of weeks ago, and that was really helpful. He walked me through a lot of stuff, and I think I want to keep trying to do that as much as possible, having one-on-one sessions, whether it's with Mike or someone else who knows what they're doing. But the other day I had to put together a list for New York City alumni to invite them out to an event, and was able to manage everything in Excel by myself without having to rope in Dan to understand where these emails were coming from, if we had all the right emails, etc. So I was glad I was able to do that. And on the technical side, I think it's just continuing to get better and continue to slowly work at this until I feel more comfortable with all elements of technical.